Welcome back to episode 10 of the Sleepy podcast. If you do enjoy this video, remember to like and subscribe at the start, as you may be asleep by the end. And if there's any topics you want to hear me talk about, please leave them in the comments. Today I'm reading an article on Wikipedia called Arctic Monkeys. Arctic Monkeys are an English rock band formed in Sheffield in 2002. The group consists of Alex Turner on lead vocals, guitar and keyboards, Jamie Cook on guitar and keyboards, Nick O'Malley on bass guitar and backing vocals, and Matt Helders on drums and backing vocals. Former member Andy Nicholson left the band in 2006, shortly after their debut album was released. Arctic Monkeys were heralded as one of the first bands to come to public attention via the internet, with commentators suggesting that they represented a possibility of change in the way in which new bands are promoted and marketed. Their debut album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, in 2006, became the fastest selling album in UK chart history, and is heralded as one of the greatest debut albums of all time. It won Best British Album in the 2007 Brit Awards. The band's second album, Favourite Worst Nightmare, was also acclaimed by critics and won Best British Album at the 2008 Brit Awards. They went on to release Humbug in 2009 and Suck It and See in 2011. The band's global recognition increased with their critically acclaimed fifth album, AM, which supported by a global hit, Do I Wanna Know? It topped 4 Billboard charts and was certified platinum in the US. At the 2014 Brit Awards, the album became their third to win a British Album of the Year. Their sixth album, Tranquility-based Hotel and Casino, was a major departure from the band's previous guitar-heavy work, instead being piano-water-rated. It received Best Alternative Music Album nomination at the 2019 Grammy Awards, their second to do so after Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. As of 2021, Arctic Monkeys have sold over 20 million records worldwide. In the United Kingdom, the band became the first independent label band to debut at number 1 in the UK with their first 6 albums. The band have won 7 Brit Awards, including Best British Group and Best Album of the Year, 3 times, a Mercury Prize, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, an Ivor Novello Award and 20 NME Awards. In addition, they have been nominated for 5 Grammy Awards, and received a Mercury Prize nomination in 2007 and 2013 and 2018. Both Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not and AM are included in NME's and the Rolling Stones' 500 Greatest Albums of All Time lists. History: 2002-2005. Early years and record deal. The Arctic Monkeys were formed in mid-2002 by friends Alex Turner, Matt Helders and Andy Nicholson. Turner and Helders were neighbours and close friends, and they met Nicholson in secondary school. Turner, who had turned up in a musical household and his father was a music teacher, played guitar in the then instrumental-only band with Helders on drums, Nicholson on bass, and a new band member, Jamie Cook, as a second guitarist. Initially, Turner was reluctant when it came to being the lead singer. As time passed, Turner became the lead singer and frontman of the band, as he had a thing for words. According to Helders, the band began rehearsing at Yellow Arch Studios in Neepsend and playing its first gig on the 13th of June 2003 at the Grapes in Sheffield city centre. After a few performances in 2003, the band began to record demos at Two Fly Studios in Sheffield. The 18 songs demoed in all are now known as the Beneath the Boardwalk, which was burnt on CDs to give away at gigs, which were promptly file shared amongst fans. The name Beneath the Boardwalk originated when the first batch of demos were sent around. The first sender, wanting to classify the demos, named them after received them, the Boardwalk. Slowly, as more demos were spread, they were all classified under this name. This had led to many people falsely believing that Beneath the Boardwalk was an early album, or that the early demos were not released under this title. The group did not mind the distribution, saying, "We never made those demos to make money or anything, we're just giving them away to people for free. That was a better way for people to hear them." The band began to grow in popularity across the north of England, receiving attention from BBC Radio and British tabloid press. A local amateur photographer, Mark Bull, became the band's performances and made a music video for Fake Tales of San Francisco, releasing it on his website. Alongside the contents of Beneath the Boardwalk, a collection of the band's songs which he named after a local music venue. When asked about the popularity of the band's MySpace site, The band said they were unaware of what it was, and that the site had originally been created by their fans. In early May 2005, the Arctic Monkeys released an EP, 5 Minutes with Arctic Monkeys, and their own Bang Bang label, featured songs Fake Tales of San Francisco and From the Ritz to the Rubble. This release was limited to 500 CDs and 1,000 7-inch records, but was also available to download on the iTunes Music Store. Soon after, the band began playing at the Carling stage of Reading and Leeds Festival, which is reserved for less known or unsigned bands. I believe today this is known as the Radio 1 Introducing stage. Eventually they were signed to Domino in June 2005. The band said they were attracted to the DIY ethnic of Domino owner Lawrence Bell, who ran the label from his flat, and only signed bands that he personally liked. The UK's Daily Star reported that this following in October by a £1 million publishing deal with EMI, and a £725,000 contract with Epic Records for the United States. Arctic Monkeys denied this on their website, dubbing the newspaper the Daily Stir. However, Domino had licensed the Australian and New Zealand publishing rights to EMI, and the Japanese rights to an independent label Hostess. Their debut single, I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, which was recorded in Chapel Studios in Lincolnshire, was released on the 17th of October 2005, and went straight to number 1 in the UK singles chart. The band's success with little marketing or advertising led to some to suggest it could signal a change in how bands achieve recognition. 2006, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. The band finished recording their album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, at Chapel Studios in Lincolnshire in September 2005, with British producer Jim Abbis producing. Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not became the fastest selling debut album in UK chart history, selling 363,735 copies in the first week. This surpassed the previous record of 306,631 copies held by Pop Stars by Hearsay, and sold more copies on the first day alone, 118,501, than the rest of the top 20 albums combined. The cover of the sleeve, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, showing Chris McClure, a friend of the band, smoking a cigarette, was criticised by the head of the NHS in Scotland for reinforcing the idea that smoking is okay. The image on the CD itself was shot an ashtray full of cigarettes. The band's product manager denied the accusation and suggested the opposite. You can see the image is shocking, and it's not doing him good for the world. The record was released a month later in the US, on the 21st of February 2006, and entered at number 24 on the Billboard album charts, after it sold 34,000 units in the first week, making it the second fastest selling debut for an indie rock album in America. However, US sales in the first year did not match those in the first week of the UK for the album. US critics were more reserved about the band than their UK counterparts, and appeared unwilling to be drawn into the possibility of yet another example of the UK press overhyping new bands. However, the band's June 2006 tour of North America received critical acclaim. The hype surrounding them, even to exist for a good reason. Meanwhile, the UK's NME magazine declared the band's debut single the 5th greatest British album of all time. It also equalled the record of The Strokes and Oasis at the 2006 NME Awards, winning 3 fan-voted awards for Best British Band, Best New Band, Best Track for I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Arctic Monkeys wasted no time in recording new material, and released Who the Fuck Are Arctic Monkeys, a 5-track EP on the 24th of April 2006. Due to its length, the EP was ineligible for the chart as a UK album or single. Furthermore, the record's graphic language had resulted in significantly less radio airplay than previous records, although this was not reported as a concern according to an insider. Since they made their name on the internet, they don't care if they get radio play. The release of the EP, Who the Fuck Are Arctic Monkeys, just 3 months after their record-breaking debut album, had been criticised by some, who had seen it as money-grabbing and cashing in on their success. The band countered that it regularly releases new music and does not make money, but to avoid the boredom of spending 3 years touring one album. Soon after the release of the EP in the UK, the band announced that Andy Nicholson would not take part in the band's forthcoming North America tour, due to fatigue from an intensive period of touring. On return to the UK, Nicholson confirmed that he would leave Arctic Monkeys and start his own project. He also said that he couldn't deal with the band's fame and the success over the previous 6 months. In a statement on their official website, the band said, "We are sad to tell everyone that Andy is no longer in the band." Also confirmed that Nick O'Malley, former bassist with the Dodgems, who had now been drafted in as a temporary basis for the tour, would continue as a basis for the rest of their summer tour schedule, formally after Nick O'Malley was confirmed as their formal replacement for Nicholson. Arctic Monkeys' first release without Nicholson, the single "Leave Before the Lights Come On," came on 14th of August 2006. Turner said that the song was one of their last songs he wrote before their rise to fame, and suggested it feels very much like it could be on the album. Peaking at number 4 in the UK, the single became the band's first single not to reach number 1. The band was reunited with Leeds Festival when Nicholson met up with his former bandmates and his replacement bassist O'Malley. Only the original band members, minus Nicholson, were present at the awards ceremony when Whatever People Say, I'm That's What I'm Not won the 2006 Mercury Prize 2 weeks later. 2007, Favourite Worst Nightmare. The band's second album, Favourite Worst Nightmare, was released on the 23rd of April 2007, a week after the release of the accompanying single, Brian's Storm. Like its predecessor, Favourite Worst Nightmare was also quickly reached number 1 in the album charts. Turner described the songs as very different to last time, adding that the sound on some of the tracks are a bit full-on, a bit like From the Ritz to the Rubble and The View from the Afternoon, that sort of thing. A secret gig played at Sheffield's Lead Mill in 10th of February 2007 debuted 7 new songs, 6 from Favourite Worst Nightmare and 1 other. Early reviews of the release were very positive and described it as very, very fast and very, very loud. Meanwhile, the band continued to pick up awards from all around the world, namely the Best New Artist Award in the United States at the Plug Independent Music Awards, and Album of the Year Award in Japan, Ireland, and the US. Awards for the Best Album and Best Music DVD for the short film Scummy Man at the 2007 NME Awards. It ended the year by clinching the Best British Band and Best British Album at the 2008 Brit Awards. For the second year in a row, the band was nominated for an annual Mercury Prize. On the 29th of April 2007, the day Favourite Worst Nightmare charted number 1 in the UK album charts. All 12 tracks from the album charted in the top 200 of the UK singles chart. Fluorescent Adolescent peaked at number 5 of the UK album chart. The band later released Fluorescent Adolescent as a single, and it charted as number 5 after debuting the song on The Jonathan Ross Show, dressed as clowns. The third single from Favourite Worst Nightmare was Teddy Picker. It was released on the 3rd of December 2007. It charted at number 20 and remained only 1 week in the top 40, staying in the position, making it the lowest charting single for the band so far. Prior to the release of this, the band released an extremely limited number of 250 vinyl under the pseudonym Death Ramps, containing 2 B-sides from Teddy Picker. In its first week of release, the album sold 227,993 copies, emulating Whatever People Say, That's What I'm Not, it going into number 1 in the UK album charts, albeit selling 130,000 fewer copies than their record-breaking debut. The first 2 singles from the album, Brian's Storm and Fluorescent Adolescent, were both UK top hits. Favourite Worst Nightmare's first day of sales gave 85,000, which outsold the rest of the top 20 combined, while all 12 tracks from the album entered in the top 200 of the UK album charts in their own right. By September 2013, the album had sold 821,128 copies in the UK. In the USA, the album debuted at number 7, selling around 44,000 copies in the first week. The album has since gone 3 times platinum in the UK and was nominated for the 2007 Mercury Prize. At the 2008 Brit Awards, it won Best Album. Arctic Monkeys headlined Glastonbury Festival on the 22nd of June 2007, the highlights of which were aired on BBC Two. During the headline set, the band performed with Dizzy Rascal and Simon Mabone Disco, and covered Shirley Bassey's Diamonds Are Forever. The band also played a large gig at Dublin's Maidenhead Castle on the 16th of June 2007, with a second date added the following day. On the 28th to 29th of July 2007, the band played their first concert, to date to sell out 2 shows at the 55,000 capacity Lancashire County Cricket Club in Manchester. Billed as being the top group's own mini-festival, both dates saw the sets from Supergrass, The Coral, Amy Winehouse, and the Japanese tribute band, The Parrots. The shows were hailed as the gigs of a generation by NME, and were even compared to Oasis' record-breaking shows at Nebworth House in 1996. The LCCG concerts cemented Arctic Monkeys' status as defining band of their generation, as Oasis had done before them. The band also slated to play the Austin City Limited Music Festival in September 2007. 2008-2010, Humbug. After a brief hiatus in which Alex Turner toured and recorded his side project, The Last Shadow Puppets, the band recorded half the album at Rancho de Luna recording session with Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age in early autumn 2008, and half of the New York sessions with James Froud in spring 2009 followed their January tour of New Zealand and Australia. During this tour, lead single Crying Lightning, along with Humbug songs Pretty Visitors, Dangerous Animals, and Potion Approaching, then known as Go Kart, were debuted live. It was later revealed by Matt Helders in a video diary that the album would consist of 14 tracks, and that Alex Turner would stay in New York to oversee the mixing of the material. However, the final track listing revealed on the 1st of June 2009 listed only 10. In a preview article on Clash, writer Simon Harper claimed that the band had completely defined expectations and presumptions to explore new depths that they can reach while stepping their foot outside accepted styles, and that Turner is his usual self, but has definitely graduated into an incomparable writer whose themes and twists and turns through stories so profound it leaves one breathless. On the same site, Alex Turner revealed the band had listened to Nick Cave, Jimi Hendrix, and Cream while writing their new album, the title of which would be Humbug. Humbug was released on the 19th of August 2009, and like both its predecessors, the album went straight to number 1. As announced on Arctic Monkeys' website, the first single from Humbug was Crying Lightning, released on the 6th of July. It also received its first radio premiere the same day. On the 12th of July 2009, the single Crying Lightning debuted at number 12 in the UK singles chart. The second single, Cornerstone, was released on the 16th of November 2009. It was announced in February 2010 that the third and final single to be taken from Humbug would be My Propeller, released on the 22nd of March. Shortly before the release of the new single, the band did a one-off UK show in the Royal Albert Hall to support Teenage Cancer Trust on the 27th of March. 2011-2012, Suck It and See. Enemy reported in May 2011 that the band were teaming up with producer James Ford once again, and would be releasing their full studio album in late spring at the earliest. Q magazine reported that the fourth Arctic Monkeys album would be more accessible vintage than Humbug. Q printed edition 299 states that it's the sound of a band drawing back the curtains and letting the sun shine in. The album was recorded in Sound City Studios in Los Angeles in 2010 and 2011. On the 4th of March 2011, the band premiered on its website a new track called Brick by Brick, with lead vocals from Matt Helders. Helders explained this is not a single, just a tease of what's coming from the album. On the 10th of March 2011, the band revealed that the album is to be called Suck It and See, and was released on the 6th of June 2011. Their fourth album, titled Don't Sit Down 'Cause I've Moved Your Chair, was released as a digital download on the 12th of April, and on vinyl with Brick by Brick on the 16th of April for Record Store Day. On the 17th of April, it went straight to number 8 in the UK albums charts. The version of the single with 2 B-sides was released on 7 and 10-inch vinyl on the 30th of May. The band allowed fans to listen to the entire album on their website before deciding about whether to purchase it or not. Suck It and See was released on the 6th of June 2011 and went straight to number 1 in the album charts. In doing so, Arctic Monkeys became the only second band in history to debut all 4 albums in a row on the top of the charts. The band announced a Hellcat spangled Sha-La-La-La from the second single to be taken from Suck It and See. Most of the stock was burned because there were London riots. A limited edition of 7-inch singles was released over the band's website on the 14th of August. The song reached number 15 in Belgium. 2013 to 2016, AM and Hiatus. On the 26th of February 2012, the band released a new song, Are You Mine, on their official YouTube channel. On the 4th of March, it went straight to number 23 on the UK singles charts and downloads alone. On the 21st of April, it was released a single with the track Electricity as a B-side, released additionally for Record Store Day. On the 27th of July 2012, Arctic Monkeys played in the London Summer Olympic opening ceremony, performing I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor and a cover of the Beatles song Come Together. On the 22nd of May 2013, the band started an AM tour at the Venture Theatre in Ventura, California, where they debuted a new song titled Do I Wanna Know. On the June 2013, the band performed at the Free Press Summerfest in Houston, Texas. On the 14th of June, the band debuted another song called Mad Sounds at the Hulfred Festival in Sweden. 4 days later, on the 18th of June 2013, the band released the official video of Do I Wanna Know. The studio version of the song, along with accompanying visuals, was also made available for purchase via iTunes and entered the UK's album chart at number 11. On the 23rd of June 2013, Arctic Monkeys headlined the Southside Festival in Germany. On the 11th of August 2013, the third single from the album, Why Do You Only Call Me When You're High, was released with the B-side, Stop the World, I Wanna Get Off With You. It debuted at number 8 on the UK album charts on the 13th of August 2013, making it the band's first UK single to top 10 singles since 2007's Fluorescent Adolescent. The band has streamed the album on its entirety 4 days ahead of its release. AM has received critical acclaim from music critics. At Metacritic, which assigns normalised ratings out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics, the album received an average score of 81 based on 36 reviews. Upon release of AM on the 9th of September 2013, the album debuted at number 1 in the UK album charts, selling over 157,000 copies in its first week. As a result, Arctic Monkeys made history as the first independent label band with 5 consecutive number 1 albums in the UK. The album received widespread critical acclaim and brought Arctic Monkeys to their third nomination at the Mercury Prize. Alex Turner described AM as the most original album yet, merging hip-hop drum beats with 1970s heavy rock. On the 23rd and 24th of May 2014, Arctic Monkeys held one of the biggest shows to date, playing at approximately 80,000 crowd across 2 days at the shows at Finsbury Park, with support from Tame Impala, Miles Kane, and Royal Blood. On the 24th of August 2014, the band announced a hiatus following their AM tour. Turner and Helders have both pursued other projects in this time. In 2016, Turner announced that his second album, Of the Last Shadow Puppets, Everything You've Come to Expect, Helders played the drums on Iggy Pop's album Post-Pop Depression. In July 2016, the band revealed an elephant sculpture designed in their project of the AM album cover style for charity. The project raised money for the Sheffield Children's Hospital. 2017 till present, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. In December 2016, Alex Turner confirmed to BBC Radio Sheffield the band's hiatus had ended, and work on the next 6th studio album had begun. The album had begun recording in September 2017. The album Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino was released on the 11th of May 2018, and in October 2018, the band headlined the Voodoo Experience in 2018 along with Childish Gambino and Mumford & Sons. Reflector magazine had the following to say about the album. After years of silence, the Arctic Monkeys have made their much-awaited return with surprising, hypnotic, tranquility-based Hotel and Casino, perfectly managing to avoid self-parody or stylic repetitions. The new album appears as a startling reimagination. Tranquility Base and Hotel and Casino was nominated for the 2018 Mercury Prize, an annual prize awarded for the best British or Irish album. The album also appeared on numerous year-end lists. At the end of the year, which creates an aggregate for music video and end-of-year lists, Tranquility-based Hotel and Casino was listed as the 14th best album of the year. A live album of the 2018 Tranquility-based Hotel and Casino concert, Royal Albert Hall, entitled Live at the Royal Albert Hall, was released on the 4th of December 2020. All proceeds of their album concert went to the charity War Child. Musical style and influences. Arctic Monkeys' musical style has been mainly described as indie rock, garage rock, post-punk revival, psychedelic rock, alternative rock, post-Britpop, stoner rock, guitar pop, and hard rock. A key part of their sound, and one that translates across the whole discography, is the lead singer and frontman Alex Turner's, and often rapidly delivered lyrics, sung in a distinctive, strong Sheffield accent. Their music became formed for their early years. A large part of their iconic sound is credited to the punk poet John Cooper Clarke, for whom the Arctic Monkeys even borrowed the lyrics for the title, I Wanna Be Yours. Turner adapted Clarke's method and delivery, mostly in their first album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. These themes were continued into the album Favourite Worst Nightmare, with the band still progressing musicians. In a 2012 interview with Pitchfork, frontman Alex Turner recalled that he and his friends were fans of Oasis, and his mother would always play the Eagles too, so I'm word perfect on shitloads of Eagles tunes. He also listened to hip-hop acts such as Outkast, Eminem, Wu-Tang Clan, and Roots Mavura, amongst others. He cited John Lennon, Ray Davis, Nick Cave, and Method Man as his major influences lyrically. When speaking about Lennon in an interview with NME, Turner said, I remember when I first started writing songs and writing lyrics, I really wanted to be able to write an I Am the Walrus type song, and I found it very difficult. According to the band, their fifth album AM is more hip-hop influenced, As Alex Turner stated in an interview with NME, it's like a Dr. Dre beat, but we're giving an Ike Turner bowl cut and sent to the galloping in a desert in a Stratocaster. He also cited Outkast and Black Sabbath as influences for the album on the song Arabella. Their sixth album, Tranquility-based Hotel and Casino, took on a different direction, substituting guitar-heavy sound for their previous albums for a more complex piano-based style of composition. The album was described as psychedelic pop, lounge pop, space pop, and glam pop. The band in turn have influenced several other artists such as Black Midi, Blossoms, Wallows, Hainsley, The 1975, Youngblood, Lewis Capaldi, Louis Tomlinson, Sam Fender, Billie Eilish, Bring Me the Horizon, Hozier, and rapper J.I.D., amongst others. Band members: Alex Turner, lead vocals, lead and rhythm guitar 2002 till present, and keyboards 2006 till present. Jamie Cook, rhythm and lead guitar 2002 to present, keyboards 2018 till present, and backing vocals 2002 to 2008. Matt Helders, drums, percussion and backing vocals 2002 till present. Nick O'Malley as bass guitar and backing vocals 2006 till present. And Andy Nicholson, bass guitar and backing vocals 2002 to 2006. Current touring musician Tom Rowley on lead and rhythm guitar 2007 to 2013 and 2013 till present. Keyboard, percussion and backing vocals 2013 till present. Scott Gills as rhythm guitar and lead guitar 2013 till present. Lap steel guitar on 2018 till present, and keyboards 2012 to 2014. David Latter on percussion 2013 till present. Tyler Pickford on keyboards, backing vocals 2018 till present. Former touring musicians John Ashton, keyboards and rhythm guitar and lead guitar and backing vocals 2009 to 2011. That is all I've got time to read today. If you did enjoy this video, remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you are still awake, there are loads of other videos on the channels you can listen to, and there's also a playlist so you can listen to them all one after the other without ad interruption. Thank you for listening, and good night.